Everybody, last week we talked about the handoff that never happens from sales to service. Today, the customer actually shows up. We think about that first visit from their side. They bought the car from a salesperson they liked in a showroom built to impress them. Now, 4 months later, they pull into the lane they've never seen before. Nobody knows their name. Somebody they've never met walks up with a tablet or a clipboard. And the first question is, do you have an appointment? It's not a service visit. It's a stranger experience. And we wonder why second visit show rates fall off the proverbial cliff. This series is From Delivery to Defection. This is episode 2. And this is called The First Service. So the customer gave us a second chance by showing up, Damon. By showing up at all. Today, we're talking about how stores blow it in that first 5 minutes and what the stores like yours that don't blow it actually do differently. So joining me is Damon Egan, Service Director of Sherwood Ford up in Canada. Damon, welcome back.
Thanks for having me, Dave.
Right. So let's talk about what is happening during that first visit. We already know that a lot of stores miss the service to sales handoff or it's weak. And so last week you showed us a great video that the customers that get delivered after hours get this video, or all your customers get the video, but the after hours one who didn't actually get a service walk can see what they have to do when they come into your store. So they understand a little bit about what's going to happen. But for those that don't, what's happening different in your store as opposed to a lot of the other stores?
Well, here's the big thing, and let's talk about this. So a lot of stores, what'll happen is it's an open drive. Basically, it is like hunting in a building is where we are, because people drive in and service advisors go running out to the nearest vehicle. And the first thing they say is, do you have an appointment? And then they're running all over the drive and they're just trying to scoop up customers as they can. We don't do any of that. We are very systematic in our approach and what we do and how we handle the customer right from the jump. Like you said, we send a welcome video to every single customer about where they come in, where they park, who they see, where they go, where they're picking up their Uber, all of it explained, so we get rid of the decision fatigue. And we talked about this last week about being frictionless. So when we have customers come in for their first appointment, they've already been contacted by their advisor, because we run a strict closed drive policy. Every service advisor in our department runs by appointment only and with the same customers over and over again, because this is not about how many customers you can get in the course of a day and sell. It's about building relationships, because those people are going to have those vehicles longer and longer as they get more and more expensive. I think it's 13 years is the average vehicle lifespan. You can build quite a relationship with somebody in 13 years. So that is why we keep all of our customers with the same service advisors, so we can build those relationships. But what our people do differently is they will reach out to their customers the day before and explain, this is who I am. This is where you're going to go. Again, to reiterate exactly what the video shows, this is me. We even have one advisor that made a video themselves. Hey, this is me. This is who I am. This is what I like to do. It was like a dating profile almost. But his customers come in and they gravitate towards him because they know who they're seeing, what he's all about. So again, it's building those personal relationships as opposed to just grabbing whoever's in front of you and hoping somehow, some way that you're going to be able to get through the day and the unorganized chaos. It's not even organized chaos.
Yeah, we missed the organized chaos portion of the show. That's for
absolutely
sure. So I can tell you what I used to tell my advisors is that that first service visit when a customer is coming in, That's our audition. It's not an appointment for them. It's our audition to show the customers this is the place I want to come back to. And oftentimes we fall short on that audition. Right? We don't put our best foot forward. We do ask the question, do you have an appointment?
Like, why else would the customer be there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just to come in and say hi? Probably not.
Exactly. And whether they have an appointment or not, they're obviously there for a reason. They're not there to buy a book. They're not there because they wanted a coffee from our rotten dealership coffee, right? So it doesn't really matter if they have an appointment or not. Just take care of them.
Exactly. And you know what? A lot of places fail to do this. And I like what you're saying about an audition, because it really is for the first few appointments. It's like dating. Like, you get personalities that just don't jive, or you get personalities that mix really well. That's why we have a closed drive system, because we can have those interactions over and over again, and you're really solidifying the relationships. And you know, to not to use a lot of car lingo, but you know, we want key throwers. We want people that just come in, drop their keys, and say, "Fix it and call me when it's done."
Yeah,
and not have that battle back and forth.
Damon, let go back to what you just said, and you said you run a closed drive. Give an explanation of that for people out there that don't know what that means.
Sure. So rather than just booking a bunch of appointments at 7:30 in the morning and then letting your advisors loose on the drive when people drive in, all of our advisors work by appointment only. So advisor 1 will have an appointment every 15 minutes from 7:30, 7:45, 8 o'clock. And they will know the people that are coming in because that's their clientele. It's no different than a hairstylist has their own clientele.
Mm-hmm.
You know, same type of thing, is that you have your own clients that you work with every single time. So if it's their first time coming in, hey, this is me, this is who I am, this is what I'm about, this is what I'm going to do for you. And then that really puts the customer at ease, because they know that the next time they come in, I'm going to see John, or I'm going to see Fred, or Jennifer, as opposed to, I wonder who's going to take care of me today, because then you start to learn all those nuances about the customer. Hey, you're finding out in those first few times they come in, how many kids they have, what they do on their off time, where they work. You're finding out all these things, and then the relationship becomes that much closer, and it becomes, instead of selling, it's just having a conversation.
Yeah, and I'm sure you have a system in place for those times when that customer and advisor alignment don't work out.
Absolutely, because we're constantly talking to customers after the fact. How was your visit? What went right? What went wrong? How can we get better? A lot of times we can have a situation where the customer says, I didn't really feel comfortable with this person because I don't like the way that they communicate. Great. We're going to slot you in with somebody else who is better suited to what you're looking for. It's not the customer that's got to conform to us. We've got to conform to how the customer wants to be handled.
That's a key right there, because we have oftentimes in automotive tried to force the customer through our funnel, right? And to approach us in only the way that we wanted to be approached.
Well, I heard a great quote a few years ago, and it was, don't treat your customers how you want to be treated. Treat your customers how they want to be treated.
I think
every experience is going to be different. Like, it really is. And we try and pigeonhole people into, well, this is the system that we use, so this is what has to happen. Not necessarily.
So, question, do your advisors, or does your team know when it's a first appointment, when a customer is walking in?
Absolutely. It's actually, we have an operation code that goes onto the work order and goes on the appointment of first appointment.
Excellent.
So when they're prepping for the next day, they see that, they know who's coming in, what kind of vehicle, they ask the questions, and we talked about it last week. We're starting to do it now. Hey, do you have any questions about the tech in your vehicle? Is there somebody that we need to bring out to help you with this? So thank you for that little tidbit, David.
Look at that right there. That's an operator. Not take information, throw it in the desk drawer. Take information and take action on it. Make it work. Make it part of the process. I love that. So so everybody knows it's a first visit. Because if it's the opcodes going on there, even the cashier when the customer's checking out knows it's a first visit. Everybody understands that it's a first visit and can get, not that you're going to take care of a customer on a first visit better than a 10th, but obviously, you need to have a little more interaction with that first time customer so that they understand where everything is, how it functions, get them comfortable with you being there, because the anxiety for a customer coming to a dealership is real. And we built the stores to be an anxiety type, inducing type environment. We talked about that before, from driving into garage doors that go up and driving inside somebody's building. We built it that way.
Yeah, you've hit it right on the head, and that's what we're trying to stop is the anxiety. I mean, the decision fatigue and the anxiety is something that a customer doesn't need. They don't want to be there in the first place. Like you said, they're not coming to watch the bad TV and drink the bad coffee. They're going there because, they're coming to see us because they have to. It's that first oil change or what have you, and we've got to make sure that we knock it out of the park. I don't want people here. That's why we give people the option of mobile service or pick up and drop off valet service. No. We make it that their first service is free anyway. That's one thing that we partnered with the sales department to do, is that their first service is free. Try us out. See if you like us. It doesn't cost you anything, and you don't even have to come here.
Yeah.
But if you do want to come here, then we're going to wow you with what we do, because we do it different than everybody else. So
you said you partnered with sales to figure out that first free service visit. Is sales, I'll rephrase that question. Does sales have visibility into your appointments every day so that they can say, hey, Joe, the customer you sold that whatever to is coming in tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Make sure you're out in the drive to say hi to him.
Absolutely. We've got full transparency on all of our appointments, right to the sales department. They go to the general sales manager first thing in the morning, and then he can distribute those appointments to customers, or if they're looking for specific vehicles for trade-ins. So they've got complete access to it. That's probably one of the biggest things that I would recommend for anybody that's looking at changing their operations on their drive, is that you've got to have the congruency between the sales department and the service department. Mm-hmm. You can't just be at loggerheads of they just want something for free or they want to push something through. It's got to work both ways. And then that way it's a better customer experience all the way around. And then ultimately you're going to win that customer over, and they're going to come back either for more service or buy another car.
Yeah. And having the salespeople out there greeting the customers that they just sold the car to a few months ago is a big thing, as opposed to I've never been opposed to acquiring vehicles out of the service drive, but I have been very opposed to the way that has taken place in many stores. It becomes more of a shark type environment, as opposed to just greeting the customer, saying hello, and naturally working yourself into a discussion of maybe they want to trade that car in. The person who just bought a car 6 months, 8 months ago, you don't need a salesperson asking if they want to trade the car in or if they want to get an offer on the car.
No, absolutely not. And I think what it does is, again, I mean, in the sales department, they talk about solidifying relationships with customers all the time.
Yep.
And I think that this is a really big part of solidifying that relationship. Hey, I remember you from 6 months ago or from 4 months ago. And I remember about your kids, and I remember about your dog, and I remember about all this stuff. And if they're there to have that conversation at the same time, that is, and that brings credibility to what you do.
Yes.
Now all of a sudden you're leagues above everybody else.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got to have that synergy between the two departments. Service has got to feel comfortable enough walking a a customer back out to sales if the customer has a question about something that you can't answer. Right? Maybe it's a question on a warranty that they think they purchased and you can't find any information on it. You got to go back to F&I and ask a question. That shouldn't be a confrontational visit.
No, but we historically we've made it that way.
Oh yeah.
As an industry, we've made it that way that all the departments in the dealership should fight, and everybody is terrible at their jobs unless it's in your department and it's everybody else's fault. Just take ownership. Just take ownership of it. Stop it going through 15 different decision processes or whoever you need to talk to. Just get it handled for the customer. Customer doesn't care, who handles it. Just get it done.
Yeah, that's exactly the attitude right there, because the customer doesn't care. They don't understand that F&I is a different department, that parts is a different department, that your recon is an outside company. They don't care about any of that. That you are Sherwood Ford, period. That's all they care about. When you go grocery shopping and you pick up and have a problem with a bag of Lay's potato chips, they don't go, oh yeah, that's Lay's. I can't help you, right? The grocery
store. Sorry, I only work in the produce department. I can't help you with that.
Yeah,
that doesn't
sorry.
happen.
Yeah, if you had a head of lettuce with a problem, I'd help you, but that's chips. You got to go find the chips guy. Doesn't happen that way. All right. So what happens on your first visits that is different other than what we just covered, right? We know they have an assigned advisor. That advisor communicates with the customer beforehand. Going back to even previous to their visit, they get a video explaining what's going to happen when they come in, right? So that advisor call before their visit is reinforcement of that, reminding them about what they should be doing. Are there any other things that you do or your advisors do on that first visit to really make it stick with a customer?
Absolutely. And this is something that we put into play a few years ago when I got tired of hearing at the end of the transaction, you're going to get a survey from the manufacturer. Anything less than a perfect score is a fail. You need to help me out. My bonus is on the line for this. I got so sick and tired of hearing that. I stopped it and we put in a new process. And we use what's called the law of reciprocity. And the law of reciprocity is, and they have a very, very, very frank conversation with the customer coming in of, this is what's going to happen on your service today. We're going to get you in quick. We're going to shoot a very detailed video of your vehicle that you're going to get a copy of. You're going to see what's going on because we're going to be very transparent. We're going to do everything that we said we're going to do at a fair price. And for all of this, all I'm asking is if you get a survey from the manufacturer, fill it out. There, it's done at the beginning, not at the end.
Yes.
And the reason that we do it at the beginning is because it does two things. One, tells the customer exactly what's going to happen, but it also holds us accountable to do what we said we were going to do. It stops that, oh, sorry, your car didn't get in till 2 o'clock. You dropped off at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
It stops all that. So it has a lot of accountability for the service advisor to make sure that RO flows into the shop and gets produced and goes through the production floor as quickly as possible. And all the marks get hit the first time. Now we've done what we said we were going to do, Mr. Customer. Now you've agreed that you were going to handle this for us. If you get that survey, you're going to take care of it for me. I don't need to beg for it. I don't need to ask for the perfect score or it's a fail. Those are 70s, 1970s tactics that don't work anymore. I mean, everybody that works in the car industry knows that all of the surveys are skewed. They're all meant to just show for JD Power. We all know this.
Yep.
So why not just call it what it is? Look, I'm going to do this. You do this. We're all good. Because that's ultimately what everybody wants.
Absolutely. So
and we do it at the beginning, not at the end.
Do they mention it again at the end? Do they give them the hey, at the beginning of the visit I mentioned that survey? If you get it and you can fill it out, would greatly appreciate it, even just a touch on it.
We don't at the end, Dave, and the reason being is because we don't get a lot of people either coming back into the store to pick up their vehicle. because of the amount of online payments that we do, or the pickup and drop off valet service, we won't even see the customer. Now, what we will do is 24 hours later, we will send a follow-up text. How was your service? Was everything good? You're probably going to get a survey. Just fill it out. Again, no begging, no 5, other than 5 is a fail. No, give us a perfect score. None of that stuff. I'm not coaching customers to get me a fake score. If we did something wrong, I want to know about it because I want to fix the process.
Yeah. That is exactly what I used to tell customers when I talked to them after they gave us a survey that wasn't good. I used to thank them, because I used to say exactly that, because if you don't send that survey in, I probably don't know that there was this issue, and therefore I can never fix it so that it doesn't happen for another customer or on your next visit. It was always a thank you, not a thanks a lot for killing it.
Exactly. And and then what we'll do is, if we do have an issue with a customer, we're going to put those notes in the profile so that when that customer comes in next time, we call that customer's profile up. We're going to know exactly what happened, where the disconnect was, or where the issue was. And we're going to make sure that never happens again with that customer. Because when they come in, that's what they're going to be expecting. Oh, they're going to screw it up again. No, we won't.
Yeah.
And I think all too often we don't do that with customers. We don't get that intricacy of personal with customers. A lot of high-end restaurants will do that. If they have a clientele that is regular, they're going to know what's going on, either through social media posts, through things that they've gotten from previous visits. Like, they're going to build a dossier on that customer so the experience is elevated every single time. Why can't we do the same thing? I'm not saying go and look at your customer's social media posts and troll them. Like, don't do that. But get to know your customers.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's part of building that relationship. And so Russell Hill, who's sitting down here in our live audience, makes it, the common is not so common, Russell. Why is it not happening in most dealerships today? I think that may be a whole 4 shows in itself.
I got to say this. So it's like, I'm sure when a customer drives up into the dealership, to the sales department, the very first thing they ask them is, do you have an appointment today? No, they say, hello, welcome, or is this a welcome back? I'm sorry, I'm so-and-so, and who in the are you? Right.
Yeah. I can tell you, I went to a restaurant, a 110 Grill. I don't know if I know they're around here, but with my son a couple of weeks ago, and the waiter came up and he said, he didn't say, is this a welcome or a welcome back? He said, you guys have been to the 110 Grill before, right? I think I recognize you. This wait, I had been there, but I had never seen this guy before. But I'm like, that was a good line. I'm like, we have been here before. And he's like, I thought you guys looked familiar. Welcome back. I'm like, great line right there.
Absolutely. And, we've done such a bad job as an industry over the years that our customers, when they come in, already are expecting a fight or some type of resistance.
Yes.
And we have one of my assistant managers here. He's fantastic. He's our CSI guru, and he uses a psychological tactic called pattern interrupt to the greatest extent. Because a customer comes in and they're like, I'm here to get my oil changed, and I need this, and they're just rifling this stuff off. And he just stops and he just puts out his hand and says, hi, my name's Blair. How are you? All of a sudden, it all melts away. Oh, hi, I'm Bob. Okay, what brings you in today, Bob? Okay, now the conversation slows down, the tone changes, completely stops it in its tracks. And we don't do a good enough job as an industry to do that. We have the advisors overworked, writing 25, 30 work orders a day. We have them, shuttling people in and out like cattle, and they're not building those relationships because we think more RO count is what we need to get more gross and do better. And nothing could be further from the truth. But again, that's another 4 shows, Dave.
Yes, yes, it is. I like the pattern interrupt. I won't go into the story now, but way back in the day when there was call waiting, if you can imagine that on landlines, I was taught a pattern interrupt. I didn't know that was the name of it back then, but it's exactly what it was, and it worked well. All right, quick diversion here. Down in the corner, the Fixed Ops 50, recognizing 10 different positions in the dealership. Well, 9 different positions in the dealership and 1 actual dealership for Fixed Ops Excellence. You can nominate people at this weird link right here for the Fixed Ops 50. Send it out. Grab that link. Send it to your dealerships that you deal with. If you're in a dealership, nominate somebody. If you think you should be nominated, give it to somebody and have them nominate you. We will be collecting all of these, putting this all together, and then having an awards presentation for the top 50 Fixed Ops people, because you do not get the recognition that you all deserve. So we're gonna stop that and change that for you. Damon, awesome show again. We've gone through two steps of the process, and we still have a bunch more coming. Right? We've still got 5 more to get through, and all of these points are points where the customer can defect from us. We have typically looked at retention as at the end of the warranty period, at the end of 3 years, at the end of 5 years, where our retention numbers are. We can drop retention as soon as that customer buys that car. And that's the stuff that we're trying to work on here to try and prevent. Some final thoughts, Damon?
Treat your customers like they want to be treated. That's first and foremost, and make it an experience rather than a pain point. We always hear the same thing of going to a service department is worse than going to the dentist. Why don't we just make it easy and frictionless as opposed to being painful? Like, it can actually be an enjoyable experience if you want to put the effort and the preparation in to making it a joyful event for your customer, as opposed to it just being troublesome. So that's the final nugget of wisdom that I will grant everybody, I guess.
I love it. Everybody, thanks so much for being here. So last thought from me, the number to watch, pull your first visits from 12 to 14 months ago and tell me how many of those came back a second time in that 12 to 14 months, right? So not just your first visit, right? We know it's free, Damon, so you get a higher percentage there. What does it look like on that second visit? And where is your retention sitting there? Every dealership out there can pull that number. It doesn't take that long, and it will probably reveal a story that gives you something to go and work on in the next few weeks. So customer already did the hard part. They chose you. They drove past 3 independents and a quick lube to get there. All we have to do is not feel like strangers. Next week, we're going to go a layer deeper. Customer came back. The relationship is starting. And now, episode 3, trust building. The MPI moment, where trust is going to get built or destroyed in quarter time. So you don't want to miss that one. The replay of this episode will drop on the podcast. Recap will be in the newsletter. From Delivery to Defection, episode 2 was last week. What we went over, that's what you'll be able to see there. Everybody, thanks for being here, and see you next Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern.